Hello and thank you for joining me on my channel Interior Reflections. For those of you who have already subscribed, welcome back to the second part of my flat tour video. And for those of you who are new, my name is Guillam and my goal for this channel is to bring you content that's interesting, hopefully useful, and helps you relax at the end of your day alongside your cup of coffee or tea or vino or whatever it is you fancy. If you've had a chance to scroll through my channel, you'll see that most of my videos are London flat tours. Every now and then you might see a video that might be on a slightly different theme, and I make those because I think they could be interesting or useful for you guys. If you love interior design and haven't had a chance to have a look at the first part of this video, then definitely check it out. So this episode, as I mentioned, is actually the second part of my flat tour video, where I'd like to explore with you my favorite cafes and restaurants and places of interest around this part of London. The place where I currently live is between Bayswater and Paddington Station. This video is going to be split into three parts. The first part is going to be my three favorite cafes, second part is my three favorite pubs or restaurants, and the third part is going to be places of interest. I'm going to start with my favorite cafe and the one which I probably spend most of my time in, and that is the Italian Gardens Cafe. As the name suggests, the cafe is overlooking the Italian Garden in Hyde Park. It's the cafe I like to go to most often because I like to go for a walk before or after my coffee. It's actually designed around showcasing the park. The wall facing the park is glass, so even if it's a cold day or if it's raining outside, you can still sit inside and look out onto the park and really enjoy the nature. If you have a dog and want to bring it along, it's also dog friendly. If you're someone who doesn't have a dog but would like to play with some, this cafe is also full of well-dressed pups. My second favorite cafe around this area, which I discovered by chance, is D1 Coffee. Going to get this coffee comes with a whole experience of walking along the canals in Little Venice. You can sit inside the cafe and have one of their freshly baked pastries, or you can actually just grab your coffee and sit on the canals on a sunny day and enjoy your food and coffee there. The coffee is really outstanding and their toasties are also really, really good. Actually, these guys do everything really well. So if you're around Little Venice and you want a good coffee or a bite to eat, definitely visit D1. My third favorite cafe around this place is Guillam. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's quite possible that I'm not. So I'm going to put links to all of the places I mentioned below, just in case I've just completely butchered that. The reason I love this cafe is the interior is very open and airy. It's all in glass, looking onto some beautiful streets. The coffee is probably the best coffee I've had in London. They've also got really nice sandwiches as well if you're feeling hungry. It's also a really nice place to go to if you want to do some work, if you want to do some journaling or read a book. It's pretty quiet. It's on a residential street, so you won't get too many tourists. The next part of the video is my favorite pubs and restaurants. It was really difficult to choose only three, but it kind of forced me to think about where I most often go by default and why that is. The first one is the Cleveland, which also happens to be one of my favorite pubs in the whole of London. It is, again, in a residential street. It's very local. You'll find that when you go in there, everyone knows each other, and so if you're visiting London for the first time and want to have like a local experience, it's definitely the place to go. The interior of the pub is really, really exceptional. It's really beautifully done. It's got like these feature ceilings. It's very old world and very, very cozy, especially in the winter time. It's got this gorgeous little terrace with fairy lights. The food is consistently amazing. It's definitely worth checking out if you're just around this area and want to find out what the locals are like and just really what the vibe of this, this part of town is. My second favorite restaurant is the Granger, which I'm sure you've heard of if you live in London. It's a chain of restaurants. There's one in East London, there's one in Chelsea, there's one in Bermondsey, and probably a few more kind of sister cafe restaurants. It's an Australian brunch place, but what I love about it is that it's really cozy if you want to go for a drink in the evening, and it's got great food. It's kind of a cross between a bar and a cafe. It's a great place for like a quiet dinner and just drinks or a coffee and cake. They basically got everything, and what I find is that a lot of cafes in London do close around 5, and I love that the Granger serves all their food at any time, and you can pretty much have anything you want until very late. They have these amazing ricotta banana pancakes, which are kind of like their signature dish, and if you go there, definitely have to try those. It's on a really beautiful street where there's a lot of other boutiques and little specialty shops. There's also like a chocolate shop around there, so there's actually a lot to see. The third one on my list is the Pelican. Crowd is again locals, so if you want to get a vibe of what this area is like, it's a good place to go to people watch or have a quiet chat with a friend. It's not super crazy, it's quite chilled out. I love the interior in winter. Especially, it's got a beautiful fireplace and it just feels like you're in a really pretty living room with great food and wine. So these are the 3 places that I most often go to if I have some spare time. The first one is one I visit the most frequently, and it's Hyde Park. I love it for the obvious reasons because it's this huge, beautiful green space where I can get my dose of nature. But it's also got a lot of places of interest. So sometimes on weekends, if I've got nothing on, I'll go to the Serpentine gallery. It's very cool architecturally. It's like this circle type of building structure, and it's really interesting to see. The gallery is always hosting really amazing art. So if you're ever in Hyde Park and get sick of walking, those are definitely places to stop over. I could probably go on and on and on about just Hyde Park. There's a tennis court, there's the Kensington Palace and the Kensington Gardens. There's the Albert Memorial as you head more towards Kensington. So there's just so much to see. You could probably spend quite a few hours in there and not be bored. It also connects you to Hyde Park Corner, which is right near Green Park, which is West End. So you could do a whole loop from here to central London and have a whole excursion just from here to there. So the second place of interest that I want to tell you guys about is the Bakery, which is an art gallery on Portobello Road that is owned by the actual artists. So what's unique and amazing about this gallery is that there's some really, really beautiful works in there, and they're always changing it up. And what's most interesting to me about going to the Bakery is that one of the artists who owns it is always there. So you'll get to chat to someone. They're really, really lovely and friendly, and they will take you through the gallery and the works that are theirs and the works of their colleagues. It's always really interesting when you see art pieces to know what the inspiration behind them was. The third place of interest that I'm going to talk about is Portobello Market. Even if you're not into vintage markets, it's just such a great buzz and such a great vibe. It's fun to go even just to get a coffee and sit in the window and people watch. It's just crazy to me how diverse the demographic is. You'll get people from all walks of life. It's super multicultural. There's always something weird and wonderful going on in Portobello. I often go there for a coffee in the morning and they'll be shooting a film. There's some beautiful furniture stores, some vintage stores. You can find some incredible pieces of clothing that are like really beautiful quality that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere on the high street or really anywhere these days. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I loved making it. I have an Instagram account that documents places around London, so this is probably my favorite pastime. If you are interested in knowing more about London, not just this area but the whole of London, and seeing really beautiful pictures or getting some inspiration about where to go, then definitely follow me. I will link also my Instagram account below so that you can touch base with me there. As I mentioned at the beginning, most of my videos are going to be apartment tours, and the next one I'm doing is of an amazing, very eccentric house in South London, which I'm so looking forward to filming. So if you are into interior design, if you love London, if you love any lifestyle themes, do subscribe. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Ciao for now.